Prince Harry has lost a Court of Appeal case over security arrangements in the United Kingdom.
Is it the only thing that I've been asking for throughout this whole process is safety?
We want security. You have security, bozo! And you have a lot of money. You can afford security. So get better security.
I don't know how much longer my father has. He won't speak to me because of this security stuff.
You know, he tells the world now isn't talking to him and disingenuously claims it's only because of this security issue when, of course, it isn't.
We all know, number one, he has the money to pay for private security. All the private security he wants.
Harry has been desperately trying to connect with his father and brother.
I would love reconciliation with my family.
I see shows like The View and other idiots out there. He should have security. He gets security. It's just not to the level he needs.
I've been treated very, very, very differently.
King Charles, if Prince William, Kate, anyone talks to him, it's just more content for the next book or Netflix series.
If you are really concerned about security, to your point, why are you going to Colombia? Why are you going to Nigeria?
Is it finally over for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle? Just moments ago, shocking claims started flying that the UK Parliament is actually moving to completely strip Prince Harry and Meghan Markle of all their remaining security privileges. We're not just talking about a few less bodyguards here. This is allegedly about their entire future in the UK, their last threads to the crown, and a move by Parliament that would be nothing short of explosive. Harry just got slammed in court over his already downgraded security, but was that crushing defeat just the appetizer for a total security blackout, potentially cooked up at the very highest levels? What in the world does this mean for their already toxic relationship with the UK? You won't believe what's supposedly going down, and it's a tangled mess that's only getting deeper. So, how did we even get to these absolutely wild whispers about Parliament pulling the plug on Harry and Meghan's security? Well, it all exploded after Prince Harry got a major reality check, or as some are calling it, a royal smackdown in the Court of Appeal. He was desperately trying to get his old top-tier, taxpayer-funded security back after he and Meghan sensationally quit their royal duties. But the UK officials basically drew a line in the sand, as commentator Meghan Kelly laid it out.
We're not going to be paying for your security, no longer a working royal, so you're not going to get police force around you when you pay visits here.
And guess what? The court totally agreed with them. They said downgrading Harry's security was proportionate, basically a fair move given he bailed on his royal role and now lives large in the US. They even said the decision wasn't irrational. Talk about a burn. One of the head judges, Sir Geoffrey Voss, reportedly called it an understandable and perhaps predictable reaction to Harry stepping back. This wasn't just some dry legal ruling, though. Insiders say this defeat hit Harry hard, and the drama didn't stop at the courtroom door. According to Rita Panahi, the personal damage was instant.
The fallout from this case has extended to Harry's relationship with his father, King Charles.
So, the court made its decision, effectively telling Harry he's not getting the VIP treatment anymore. But what does downgraded security actually mean for Harry and Meghan when they dare to step foot in the UK? And is it truly as dire as Harry wants everyone to believe? The truth behind that might just be the key to why these new parliamentary threats are sending shivers down their spines. And the stark truth about that downgraded security is this: the royal red carpet, especially the taxpayer-funded part that came with automatic police protection, has been well and truly yanked from under Harry and Meghan. Gone are the days when they could just land in the UK and expect a full team of official bodyguards. Now it's a case-by-case headache. Officials supposedly eyeball the risk for each specific visit and then decide if Team Sussex gets any of that top-tier protection. And Harry, he thinks this new system isn't just bad, it's a disaster waiting to happen. He didn't hold back in that BBC interview, practically painting a picture of why he feels it's so dangerous.
If you're invited to the UK by your family, then we will give you security. If you come for any other reason, you will get low amount of security, but it is completely insufficient.
Completely insufficient. You heard it straight from him. Harry's screaming from his Californian mansion that this new maybe you will, maybe you won't security makes it totally unsafe. He claims to bring Meghan and their kids, Archie and Lilibet, back to his old home turf. He's been adamant that his only real concern throughout this whole messy saga has been keeping his family safe.
I think what people will hear is that the only thing that I've been asking for throughout this whole process is safety, both when I was part of the institution and when we left.
Now, here's another juicy tidbit. Harry reportedly even offered to dig into his own multi-million-dollar bank account to pay for official police protection. But sources whisper the UK government basically gave that a swift no thanks, allegedly calling the idea not really appropriate. Of course, not everyone's buying Harry's dramatic portrayal of being left out in the cold. Some commentators, like those on Popcorn Palace, argue that he does get security, just not the gold-plated, no questions asked version he clearly wants.
I see shows like The View and other idiots out there. He should have security. He gets security. It's just not to the level he needs.
So, if Harry is to be believed, he and his family are basically walking a high wire without a proper safety net every time they even think about a trip to the UK. But if his outrage over this situation sounds explosive, just wait until you hear how he's reacting to what he allegedly sees as a massive, personal insult to his very identity and his unshakable royal status. The accusations he's reportedly throwing around are absolutely incendiary. And incendiary is an understatement. Faced with this new security reality, Prince Harry didn't just raise an eyebrow. He reportedly went full-blown ballistic, accusing the powers that be of playing dirty and treating him like some kind of royal outcast. He made it painfully clear he feels like he's been specifically targeted, telling the BBC in that bombshell interview.
I've been treated very, very, very differently to everybody else that exists. All examples that exist, I have been singled out.
Singled out. Imagine that. But it doesn't end there. A huge part of Harry's argument seems to be that just because he's stepped down from official duties, his fundamental status as a prince, the one he was born into, hasn't changed and never can. He basically said, I am who I am, and you can't take that away.
My status hasn't changed. It can't change. I am who I am. I am part of what I'm part of, and I can never escape that.
He even tried to bolster his case by pointing out that other high-profile figures who leave public office often get to keep their protection for life. No questions asked. He implied the public would be shocked if they knew the full details of this alleged double standard.
I think it would be quite shocking for the British public to understand that people who leave public office receive lifetime protection, regardless of whether there are threats or risks to them.
And here's the real kicker. According to Harry, he claims this whole security stripping exercise is basically payback because he and Meghan wanted to keep serving the crown, but on their own terms, and they were shut down. He feels his family's safety was just thrown under the bus as a result.
For me, security was made conditional on having that official role. That role that myself and my wife wished to carry on, but was stopped from being able to do that.
So, Harry's laid his cards on the table. He's crying foul, claiming he's been uniquely mistreated and that his royal birthright has been trampled on. He's definitely not going down without a fight, at least in the court of public opinion. But while Harry's lighting these fires and making these explosive claims, what's the vibe coming from Buckingham Palace? Is anyone even bothering to listen? Or is he just talking to a brick wall? The alleged silence from the royals, especially from his own father, King Charles, is absolutely chilling, and the rumored reasons behind it could be the biggest bombshell of all. And that bombshell? It's the sound of silence. A deafening, icy silence, allegedly coming straight from Buckingham Palace, particularly from King Charles himself. While Harry's out there making all these claims, he also tries to play the peacemaker card, saying he desperately wants to mend fences with his family. He even told the BBC,
I would love reconciliation with my family. There's no point in continuing to fight anymore. As I said, life is precious.
Sweet, right? But then, in almost the same breath, Harry drops a hint about his father's health and claims the real reason King Charles won't talk to him is all down to this security drama.
I don't know how much longer my father has. He won't speak to me because of this security stuff.
But hold on, because not everyone's buying that excuse. Commentators like Piers Morgan are calling cap, suggesting Harry's being totally misleading about why Daddy isn't picking up the phone.
His father, he tells the world now isn't talking to him and disingenuously claims it's only because of his security issue when, of course, it isn't.
And get this, sources whisper that Harry actually has been trying to crawl back into their good graces, reportedly reaching out through old friends and even retired palace staff to connect with his father and brother. But as Kinsey Schofield puts it,
Harry has been desperately trying to connect with his father and brother through old friends and retired courtiers. Neither have taken the bait.
Ouch. Talk about being left on read. So, what's the real deal behind this royal ghosting? Well, insiders and commentators like Rita Panahi suggest it boils down to one massive, unshakable problem. The royals allegedly just can't trust Harry anymore. They're reportedly terrified that any private conversation, any tiny olive branch, will just end up as headline.
King Charles, if Prince William, Kate, anyone talks to him, it's just more content for the next book or Netflix series.
So, while Harry's out there blaming the system and the security, the palace is reportedly locked down tighter than Fort Knox, scared of his next big reveal. But it's not just the royals who are side-eyeing Harry's narrative. The public and a whole army of commentators have a lot to say about his pity party, and their take is absolutely brutal. Critics are basically telling him to get a grip, screaming, "You quit. So why should taxpayers pay for your security when you're loaded?" Meghan Kelly laid it out clearly.
We all know, number one, he has the money to pay for private security. All the private security he wants.
Popcorn Palace was even harsher, basically telling Harry to stop the theatrics and use his own cash.
We want security. You have security, bozo! And you have a lot of money. You can afford security. So get better security.
The attacks get personal too, with some commentators even dragging up old claims that Princess Diana herself allegedly once called Harry thick. The general consensus from critics? Harry just doesn't get consequences and still expects all the royal perks after ditching the actual job. Popcorn Palace put it bluntly, he needs a reality check.
You don't get it, Harry. You're not a victim. You're a rich man who can pay for his own security.
Now, Harry insists he faces unique threats, especially the disgusting racist ones aimed at his family, and those are definitely serious. But then critics immediately point to his and Meghan's globetrotting to places like Colombia or Nigeria, making them ask, as Kinsey Schofield did.
If you are really concerned about security, to your point, why are you going to Colombia? Why are you going to Nigeria?
That sharp question feeds an even uglier, more cynical view that Harry's very public and emotional pleas are all just a calculated act. Kinsey Schofield also dropped this bombshell about how some Americans allegedly see him.
Americans feel like Prince Harry is an emotional con artist who fabricates and exaggerates hardships to exploit compassion.
Emotional con artist. Yikes. With so many people basically accusing Harry of crying wolf, you have to wonder if the powers that be in the UK are feeling a new sense of boldness. Could this escalating public backlash be the green light for Parliament to go even further and consider completely yanking every last bit of his official security? The whispers about what's allegedly being considered behind closed doors are genuinely shocking. And those genuinely shocking whispers from behind closed doors, they point straight to the explosive possibility that the UK Parliament might actually be gearing up to completely strip Prince Harry and Meghan Markle of all remaining official security. Yes, you heard that right. Zero taxpayer-funded protection. After Harry's spectacular court losses, and with public opinion seemingly stacked against him, sources claim serious, hush-hush talks are happening in very high places to yank even his current case-by-case security assessment. Could this be the ultimate payback from the so-called men in gray suits who are reportedly fed up with Harry constantly challenging the system and airing royal secrets? If Parliament makes such a drastic move, many believe it's total game over for any official Sussex presence in the UK. This whole saga paints a truly grim picture for Harry and Meghan. Their legal options in Britain have all but vanished, family relationships appear to be shattered, and now they face this terrifying prospect of a complete security shutdown by parliamentary decision. It really is a stark cautionary tale, isn't it, about the colossal price you pay when you decide to take on the firm so publicly after walking away. A complete security removal by Parliament could mean Harry, Meghan, and their children are effectively barred from the UK for good. But what's your take on this royal train wreck? Is this really it for them in Britain? Could Parliament actually deliver that final, brutal blow? And what would that truly signal to the world? Is there any chance left for a last-minute truce? Or is Harry simply torching his own bridges beyond any hope of repair? Spill your hottest takes and juiciest theories in the comments below. Is he a victim in all this? Or has he single-handedly engineered his own royal exile?